I'm Will Svendsen, and I'm from the Kids from Cameron 4-H Club. What would you do if you had to stop a war where thousands of soldiers were dying every day? I'm going to tell you about a man who did just that. World War I was a stalemate. In that age of rising technology, warfare as the world had known it had changed. The main change was the weaponry. There were new weapons like the machine gun, poison gas, flamethrower, and magazine-fed rifles. However, even though the countries had these deadly weapons, the war was still at a standstill. The only way commanders knew how to fight was to send thousands of troops over the tops of their trenches into the line of fire. There was no way to effectively cross no man's land. In a very short time, the losses were in the millions. The army needed something that could go into the line of fire, but remain unharmed. In the midst of all this, the tank emerged. Colonel Will Svendsen was giving reports to England in the trenches about the war. One day, he had an idea of a weapon that just might break the stalemate. He pictured a metal beast that would break through anything that got in its way: barbed wire, trees, trenches, and enemy soldiers. Little did he know that his idea would not only change the course of the war, but change the course of warfare as we know it. Immediately, the tank made a difference. In its first battle, it captured the village of Fleur. The Germans who saw the tanks were terrified of these metal monsters that were attacking their trenches. Because of this, the Allies had many battles in which it made a difference if the tanks were in it. They had battles in which there were hundreds of tanks leading the charge and protecting the troops. However, the tank was not without flaws. It was slow, it bogged down often, and it was generally unreliable. But it didn't mean that they couldn't improve it. By the time World War II came along, tanks had become next level. These tanks played huge roles in their country's army. They became an essential part of any kind of operation that they were in. The tanks we use today are faster, more durable, and more powerful. Our country's tank is the M1 Abrams. It is one of the most advanced tanks of all time. There are many different kinds of tanks that are even more powerful than ours. The tank is a weapon that has done what it was intended to do. It has been a peacekeeping tool, and it has been a weapon of destruction. It broke the stalemate in a war that seemed like it would never end. Through the imagination of Colonel Svendsen, the Allies changed the world in ways they couldn't begin to imagine.